is enough said.
Happy Hump Day, Heat Nation! Your boy Ernest here, back with another Miami Heat Talk video. Would really appreciate it, guys, if you could like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Really appreciate the continued support. Now, let's rock and roll on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. Before we get started, you guys, I just want to remind y'all, yesterday I gave you guys 2 videos. I know I be spoiling y'all, but had a couple different topics. Came back with the boys from the Miami Heat Roundtable, talked about a few trade rumors, a few lineup situations, but then I also started a new series yesterday, you guys, something I want to do for the month of September. I want to go back in time and talk about older Miami Heat teams, basically go back in a time machine. Talk about certain teams that I feel should have won an NBA championship or were at least contenders to win the title. But because of injuries or certain situations, we just weren't able to get there. Now look, we got 2 months left for the regular season, you guys. I just think right now it's time to have some fun, go back on the memory lane, enjoy the nostalgia for this Miami Heat team. Yesterday, the video I talked to you guys about was the 2015-2016 Miami Heat. I'm going to go a little bit further in time. We're going to talk about the Big Three era, where LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh joined forces as the Avengers for the Big Three era from 2010 to 2014. But specifically, the season that I want to talk about, you guys, where I felt the Miami Heat should have won an NBA championship was the first year. The 2010-2011 season. Now, a lot of people may have different opinions about this, so I'm really interested in hearing what you guys have to say in the comments. But let's backtrack a little bit, shall we? Because we all know how this started. Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron James were all number ones, best players on their own respected teams. Chris Bosh was in the Toronto Raptors, LeBron James was in the Cleveland Cavaliers, D. Wade was here with the Miami Heat. Dwayne Wade was the only player that won an NBA championship from the 3 guys in 2006. But after 2006, it was constant crap for these guys. Now, LeBron James won MVPs in 2009 and 2010, led his team to a first seed, but they were embarrassed in the playoffs. Losing to the Magic, losing to the Boston Celtics, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and LeBron James were never able to get over the hurdle that was the Boston Celtics from 2008 to 2010. Boston ran the Eastern Conference. However, in 2010, all 3 men became free agents. They were all flirting and testing with the free agency market. You thought some guys were going to go to Chicago. You thought some guys were going to go to New York. You thought some guys were going to go to Cleveland. Turned out that Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh joined forces with the Heat. And you thought that was it. I figured, okay, this team's going to be ran by D. Wade and Chris Bosh. Pat Riley finally got that guy for Dwayne Wade. We're going to have a 1-2 punch. You're going to fill the roster with really good players. Use that salary cap that you have. But the Heat had space for another max player. So they went all in on LeBron. And it worked. They got the best player in the NBA. You had basically the celebration in the AAA arena. I was there, you guys, watching the 3 Kings. Talking about LeBron James, talking about not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. You know, I was literally there. I'm sure a lot of you were as well. It was a great day. But they hadn't done anything yet. The regular season started, they went 9-8. And everybody was enjoying it. Everybody was spewing their garbage, spewing their negativity on how great it was that this team was failing. But they weren't failing. They were just learning how to piece it together. They also had quality role players on this team that needed to get a little bit of experience together. You had your guy Udonis Haslem. And I feel the reason why the Miami Heat went through those struggles was because of Udonis Haslem's injury. He suffered an injury early in the season and he didn't come back towards the playoffs. So the Miami Heat had to figure it out without their captain. You had guys like Mike Miller on the team, who also was injured, only played half of the season. When the Miami Heat brought the Big Three together, you guys, they all took less money. So the Miami Heat were able to get Mike Miller and Udonis Haslem. And the reason why Udonis Haslem is always going to be loved and treasured for this Miami Heat team is not just because of what he's done on the floor, but what he's done off the floor. Udonis Haslem had big contracts from the Dallas Mavericks and the Denver Nuggets, about 3 years or it was like 4 years worth $30 to $35 million Haslam could have gotten in the market. He decided to stay with the Miami Heat for way less money. Took a 5-year contract at about $20 to $25 million. Way less than his market value. But he was able to get some money. With the Florida having no state income taxes, he got a lot of it back as well. And they were also able to sign Mike Miller on a mid-level exception. But both of those guys got injured. So now you had to have other people stepped up, and they did. You know, at times James Jones stepped up. Eddie House stepped up. Carlos Arroyo stepped up. Zydrunas Ilgauskas stepped up. At certain times, you know, Joel Anthony became a key piece defensively. You also had guys like Mike Bibby. Towards the end of the season, you picked him up in the buyout market. This team, on paper, wasn't technically the best in the Big Three era. I understand that the Heat eventually got Ray Allen, Shane Battier, Chris Birdman Anderson, Rashard Lewis, Norris Cole. So this team was the first year, and it wasn't like they had big-time players besides the Big Three. You know, Mario Chalmers was ascending, but he only averaged 6.5 points a game. You thought that Mario Chalmers, with this Big Three era, could possibly turn in Rajon Rondo. You really saw those signs the second year of the Big Three. First year, Mario was kind of holding down. Until the NBA Finals, he showed that he balled out. But look at the stats for the Big Three in this first year. LeBron James averaged almost 27 points a game, 7.5 rebounds, 7 assists, almost 2 steals a game. Right behind him, you had D Wade at 26 points a game, 6.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 1.5 steals. Chris Bosh as the number 3, 18.7 points a game, about 8.3 rebounds. You know, he was shooting 50% from the field. Chris Bosh's averages took a huge dip. He was averaging about 20 shots a game in Toronto. With Miami, almost 14 shots a game. They all took a little bit less with their attempts, but I think these were quality numbers for a Big Three. When you have 3 guys averaging almost 20 points a game, it works. Udonis Haslem averaged 8 points a game. Mike Bibby averaged 7.3. When Mike Miller came back, he averaged 5.6. That was the knock. That was the hit, I feel. Mike Miller, you brought him in to be the 4th player, to be the 4th piece, the 4th leading scorer. He never gave you that because of the injuries he suffered, which sucked. But it is what it is. But it still worked. The Heat still had an incredible run. You beat Philadelphia in the first round. You smash Boston in the second. You lose to Chicago the first game of the Eastern Conference Finals. Then you win 4 straight. You were poised to win an NBA championship. So that's why till this day, it blows my mind that the Miami Heat failed against the Dallas Mavericks. JJ Barrera was backing down LeBron James in the post. Jason Terry got in LeBron's head. Dwayne Wade was fine. Dwayne Wade was the NBA Finals MVP because he'd been there before. He'd been at this biggest stage and he'd won against the Mavericks. But LeBron failed. LeBron got in his head and LeBron choked. We saw certain games LeBron only got 17 points. That's not LeBron. I remember screaming at the TV screen, "Be LeBron! Just be LeBron! Dominate!" Now, I'll be honest with you guys. I really feel that the Big Three era was a success. You won back-to-back titles. But at the end of the day, you can't put yourself in the same conversation as the Chicago Bulls or the Los Angeles Lakers or the Boston Celtics because you didn't win 3 in a row. Now, look, why am I not bringing up the 2014 Miami Heat? Because I feel like at that time, the writing was in the wall. 4 straight years of the same thing. Training camp, regular season, deep playoff runs, NBA Finals. Their bodies were broken down at that point. LeBron was fine. He was still in his prime. But Dwayne Wade was breaking down. Shane Battier was breaking down. Ray Allen was breaking down. Birdman wasn't the same. The 2014 team, the writing was on the wall. The Spurs wanted blood. So that's why I feel you had it for 2011. The Heat should have won 3 straight. But because LeBron getting in his head and Dallas Mavericks stepping up at the right time, that never happened. So I feel that the 2011 team was one of the biggest missed opportunities. Not just because they could have won the NBA championship, but you would have put yourself in a dynasty level by winning 3 straight. Can we call the Big Three era for the Miami Heat a dynasty? I don't really think so. So I want to hear from you, Heat Nation. What do you think about the 2011 Miami Heat team? Do you think they were poised to fail because of how the things worked and with injuries happened? Or do you think they should have won and they should have had 3 straight championships and been considered a dynasty? Or maybe you feel that team is considered a dynasty. I don't think 4 years is enough, but who's to say? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel as we push for 5,000 subscribers. I hope you guys are liking this series. Let me know what teams you want me to talk about in the comments. If there's a specific team that you feel could have won an NBA championship, let me know. I'll talk about them. But don't forget to like the video, subscribe, you guys. Appreciate the support. And until next time, your boy Ernest out, and that's enough said. Yeah, buddy. Let's go.